Welcome to Bartender at Large, a show about bartending, booze, and everything in between. I'm your host, Erick Castro, and as usual, we're joined by some of the biggest names in the industry. With me today, two-time Emmy Award winner and Oscar-nominated actor, William H. Macy.
Thank you. Good to
and
be
dear
here.
friend and third-generation bartender and winner of Best Bartender for the United States at Tales of the Cocktail, Sean Kenyon. Brother, welcome
Great
to
to
the show.
be here, my friend.
Man, it's good to have the two of you here. Okay, Sean, when you hit me up, I thought like there must have been a typo in the text. You're like, oh, hey, man, I'm in town, and I want to go to the show. And I want to go to the show from with William H. Macy. I'm like, wait, from like Fargo and Shameless? And you were like, yeah, same dude. I've worked with him at Woody Creek. And I was like, yep, dude, just tell me when. Tell me I'd love to get the both of you on the show. So the two of you are here to talk whiskey, also a little bit of vodka.
Right.
Also, I'm guessing that the two of you became acquainted since you both live in Colorado.
Yeah. Through Woody Creek.
Mhm.
Yeah. We had a dinner together when we first met, the first night we met. And we're Jimmy Yeager and I, long
Good
also
guy,
related
good
to Avaspen, long also related to Woody Creek Distillers. We were talking about a motorcycle trip we were going to do in Europe, and Bill piped up next to us, like, I'd like to go. And
Sick.
I was like, nah, you don't want to do that. But he called me the next day, and then we went on an amazing trip from Rome to Berlin on motorcycles that ended up at the Berlin Bar Show.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And did you have to slow down so that these guys could keep up with you?
Oh my God. It was these guys and about 20 guys from Fortaleza Tequila in their early 20s. I'm lucky to be alive. Oh my Lord. They drove so fast and I was terrified. I
Didn't seem it.
was gripping so hard
Yeah.
when we got in that night. I couldn't unzip my fly because I couldn't make my fingers do that.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. In my mind, for some reason, I don't think of you being on two bikes. I think of what you being in the sidecar with like the little like
Hold
World War
on,
II
who's in
fighter
the
pilot.
sidecar?
Who would be in the sidecar?
Not me.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrong image. Erase that from your mind. This is how I got involved with Woody Creek Distillers. I'm married to Felicity Huffman, and she grew up in
Woody Creek.
Woody Creek. And we bought her childhood home about 10 years ago. And my neighbors were Pat and Mary Scanlon and Mark Kleckner, who started Woody Creek Distillers. And they knocked on the door one day and said, would you like to be our spokesperson? So I said yes. And that's how I got involved 6 years ago.
And what were y'all making back then? Were you already making the rye and the bourbon, or was it just the vodka?
It was, nope, we made everything when I joined the distillery. The vodka was first,
Yep.
and then the bourbon. And, it's cheeky, but we make the finest spirits in America. There are others. There are a lot of others, but there are a lot that are not as good. We source nothing. We make everything. It's got our name on it.
Okay, that's good to hear,
No-
because nowadays, Sean, as you and I well known for a long time, a lot of stuff that you buy now, and that's made by I don't know,
Right.
They're selling you a 10-year-old bourbon, but the distillery's only been there for 2 years.
Right.
And wait, so where is this whiskey coming from? Because the math doesn't check out.
Yeah, and there's so much fiction out there as far as bottles go. We know, I don't care whether you source or not.
Mhm.
I don't love that you do, but like, be honest up front.
Yeah.
And of the people who are sourcing, which is 80% of the American whiskey market, a lot of them just aren't clear about it.
Mhm.
They're like, this is my grandfather's recipe that we found in an old barn, on his estate, and we've revived it. Like, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And we get to talk about these spirits from the get-go. We know the origin of it. We know how it worked. I mean, they were growing potatoes on Bill's fields right outside of on his property, and that's we know where everything was made. We know the farmers, all of the above. I mean, there's 10 people that work at the distillery, and it's everything sourced in Colorado. It's pretty great. I mean, all the grains are sourced. We make all the spirit itself.
So can we taste some of it?
Of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
I brought these glasses out, and they're
Yeah.
not just for looks, fellas.
I mean, the great thing is that I'm going to start you with vodka, and
Okay.
I know that is strange with a lot of bartenders. They don't want to hear about vodka, but this is the spirit that that brought me to this brand, right?
Mary Scanlon, by the way, is our CEO, and our company's mostly run by women.
Yeah, and
100% potato vodka.
yeah.
And Mary was I was doing Denver Cocktail Week, and I was making cocktails for Williams and Graham, and Mary came up to my table, dropped a bottle of Woody Creek vodka on it, and walked. She said, I really want you to try this, and walked away. Like, and I put it in my backpack, and that was like halfway through the thing. I put it in my backpack, got home, put it on my desk where I taste, once a week or so, and didn't get to it for like 3 weeks. And then I opened this bottle and was like, holy shit, like what is this? Because it's 100% potato vodka that's run through a column once. It is, it's kind of an Eastern European style of distilling. It's got, the vodka, odorless, colorless, tasteless. This is only one of those things. It's colorless. It's got a lot of body. It's got viscosity. It's got a slight sweetness because it's 100% potato. There's no additives. I was blown away by their vodka and actually looked into Woody Creek that had been around for 2 years at that point. Found that they were sourcing everything themselves. It was farm to bottle. And I called them up and said, how do I work with you? I went to them rather than the other way around. And we found a way. It's 11 years now. So love it.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
I think I got it because I was the only celebrity within walking distance.
Walking distance.
I lived in the hood.
That happens.
What do you think?
It's lovely. I'm not gonna lie. It's like because I'm a judge for a lot of spirits panels competitions, and I like it when they put me on the vodka panel because I feel like it's like you got to do a little more detective work.
Right.
With this, you don't have to do that much detective work because the flavor's so apparent.
Just won double gold.
Yeah.
What, 3 weeks ago in San Francisco?
I was probably one of the judges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tasting them. I haven't taken a list of the winners yet. So I was on the vodka panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. It's good to know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So
And they don't tell you what you're tasting.
Yeah, I endorse it without knowing.
Yeah.
Y'all found out at the same time I did. Yeah, I haven't checked my emails in a long time, everybody. This is what, it was the beginning of June, and I had caught up on an email from December 23rd.
Yeah.
Recently. So
Yeah.
I would have found this out. No, but I remember tasting this one specifically.
Yeah.
Because we were at the table and I was like, and I'm always partial to potato vodkas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, there's so many vodkas, you can't tell the source, what the source materials are.
God, they're nice.
Yeah. And this is to me, obviously potato, but it's got that slight sweetness and creaminess that you get from not over distilling it and just rolling with what you got, Yeah.
In one of my emails, I have my notes on this.
Yeah.
So sorry. I'll get those to you guys later.
You'll have to share, man.
Yeah.
You know what else? The Z's and the X's and the millennials are drinking less. And I think we have no choice but to say, good for you. That's a good thing. Half my friends drink too much. The other half don't drink enough.
Yeah.
But I think...
Hey, but let me guess. You drink the exact right amount.
Oh, of course I do.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm a professional. I've been drinking professionally for 20 years now. But I think it makes a difference. I say drink less, but drink smarter. And there's, as Sean says, there's nothing wrong with sourced alcohol, but one thinks they wouldn't put all that fiction on the label.
I know.
If they were proud of it.
Yeah.
I think I'm proud of the fact that if you want to know who we are, I'll give you the address and the phone number. You can come to Basalt, where our distillery is. And if you get to Aspen, you got to see this distillery.
Oh.
The best stills in the world, these Christian Carl stills, stand 2 stories high. They're magnificent.
They had to move the ceiling. They raised the roof when they brought them in. Yeah, but they're gorgeous, and it's it's just south of Aspen or north of Aspen, between Carbondale and Aspen. So
Down Valley.
if you're going to Aspen Food and Wine or doing any of those things, you gotta be able to stop by. Plus, it's a beautiful drive from Denver. If you ever come out, we'll drive up there together.
And we have a tasting room in front.
Yeah.
Where you can taste all of our wares because we have a lot more than this, and because there's no food, you can bring your dog.
Nice. Nice.
I love a dog-friendly place. And there's usually a lot of dogs down there. But,
no, we go, brother. We'll ride motorcycles up from Denver.
Yeah, let's do it. And we'll bring Bill along with us. We'll do a little Independence Pass or something like that. It's a beautiful ride.
I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
So many beautiful rides up there.
Because the flight from Aspen down back to Denver is very harrowing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I swear you're like barely above the trees. You like look out the window and you're not even that high up.
And it feels like you're being shot at like a rocket launch. Because when you leave
you go straight
Aspen,
up and then you go
feel like you go
down.
straight up.
Yeah.
I've never been that far back in an airplane. Like you feel like you're staring up at the ceiling when you're going up.
I've only done that flight a couple times, and every time I feel like I'm having to soothe whoever's sitting next to me on the plane because they're freaking out.
It's
fine.
It's always bad news when you can see land out that window and you can see land out that window.
Yeah.
Where exactly are we?
It's nuts. But that area is beautiful. Obviously, Woody Creek is known for the Woody Creek Tavern, Hunter S. Thompson. That's where Bill lives. That's where That's where the founders live.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and I get to go up and stay in that area a whole lot. It's a gorgeous area, and they used to make Colorado in that area used to export more potatoes than Idaho. So it's an indigenous crop, or it's a crop that's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And we use 100% Rio Grande potatoes, which aren't great for cooking. They're really starchy and high sugars and the like, but they're fantastic for making vodka.
Oh, I mean, you read my mind. I was about to ask you what kind of potato.
Yeah, Rio Grande.
Fresh potatoes.
Yeah,
fresh. Yeah, tell me about the fermentation on that.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
It's it's a long fermentation, and they basically mash potatoes, right? And bring them in fresh and cut and just dropping them in, mashing them up, like grinding them up and getting them in there. And it's a long ferment. It's a 4 to 5 day fermentation. Oh, cool. But yeah, and then it's going right into the pot and into the column. And so it's not overly processed at all. It's about as little as you can make vodka.
We choose the yeast. It's not an open.
Oh, cool.
It's not an open pot.
And then, can you talk about the yeast? I mean, just for our really nerdy listeners.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it. I don't think they're willing to share it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's how distillers are. Like they'll talk all about their, all about mash bills, all about source materials. But when you start getting the yeast part, a lot of them are like,
they get really secretive all of a sudden.
yeah.
Especially when we're talking to folks making bourbon.
Yeah.
Which brings me to our next product to taste. You want to tell me a little bit about the bourbon?
Oh, the bourbon.
Yeah. The bourbon's fantastic. And I think
you can pour.
Okay, great. I'll pour. The mash bill is 70 15 15. Which is
oh well.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Yeah.
It's for the podcast that I did that.
I imagine, yeah. Well, hey, for all of you out there, this is just stunt whiskey.
Yeah.
It's like they use in the movies. That wasn't real alcohol.
Just iced tea?
Yeah.
Right?
Were this real whiskey, we'd be slurring by now.
So 70 15 15, which is an unusual mash bill. So 15% malted barley, which is like a pretty high percentage of malted barley. But the structure, like the body and the structure it gives it, I love it. Mm-hmm. Everything in bottle is 5 years and above. And mountain aging is weird because it before 4 years, it seemed like it was never going to be ready. And then it hit 4.5, 5, and it was like beautiful all of a sudden. And then it ramps up, like slow to get there, but once it gets there, it speeds up. And then you get to the 7 and 8 years, and some of the ones we have in the distillery, which are fantastic.
I think the law is it's got to be 3 years.
2.
2 years, and ours is 5.
Yeah, and it's there's no age statements on it, but everything is 5 and above that we're putting in there. We just picked out for Bill does an edition every year of a Macy's Reserve, and we just picked out a 10-year bonded rye that is unbelievable. We have a lot of 10, 11, 12 years. We're gonna probably try and stop them on some of them and just vat it and get it out. Yeah. So it doesn't get over the top. But 10, 12 years is about as high as I like bourbon to be.
I think the altitude.
Same. I'm the same. I feel like especially with bourbon sometimes, maybe it might be a little more forgiving because it's cooler in Colorado. But I mean, a lot of stuff in Kentucky, once it gets into the teens, it starts to taste like a coffee table. Yeah. Someone's like, "Hey, Eric, you want to taste this 18-year bourbon?" I'm like, "No, no, I don't."
I think the altitude has a lot to do with why our whiskeys are superlative. We use a number 3 char.
It's because this guy's feeding you vodka already.
That's right.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
I had to down the glass. Anyway, it's a number 3 char, and it gets so wicked dry in the wintertime. I mean, it. Your lips crack, your nails crack. And I think as it gets dry and the angel share moves it through that char, it moves a lot. And then spring comes. In other words, there's a great movement in the cask. Yeah. And I think that's why the whiskeys are so fine.
The angel share is also pretty stout, being up there at 6,500 feet and being as dry as it is. So there's a lot of happy drunk angels up and around our brick houses.
See, you guys are coming from, when you go from a low altitude to high altitude, it's like you need to pace yourself. It's easy to overdrink. You guys, it's the opposite. So I'm afraid you guys are going to outdrink me right now.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's just because science is on your side. I want you guys to know this wouldn't happen under normal circumstances.
It's funny to invite people to Aspen. They have 2 drinks off the plane, and you just watch.
Yeah. Yeah, just watch. I mean, I try more because drink a lot of water,
Uh-huh.
do your thing. Because even if they're coming to Denver from Lowland, but when you go right up to Aspen and you're at 8,000, you know, it's a lot. That's a lot scarier for people because just after a few drinks, after 2 drinks, they're feeling it for sure.
It's great bourbon, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
I can't wait for you to try the rye. The rye is my jam.
Yeah.
And I'm a Southern boy. I was born in Florida, raised in Georgia. I grew up drinking bourbon and tasted our rye, and I think it's America's drink.
Yeah, so these are the 3 core, and then but you said sometimes you'll do like limited editions.
Yeah, so
like
there's
Macy selected.
so in the distillery, there's a lot of experimental mash bills for from early on when we were trying to kind of narrow down where the bourbon was going to be. One of my favorites is there's a 70-30 that we do that we have a bit of. We also have a weeded up there, but those are all like distillery editions.
Yeah, yeah.
We bought a 70-30 as a barrel for Williams a Graham that was finished in Calvados. That was really great.
Amazing.
Yeah. And but those you can try at the distillery. We just don't have enough. I mean, I wish we made a little bit more of the weeded at the time because
I was about to say, because I know, obviously everybody loves Pappy and everything, Weller, everything. That a lot of weeded bourbons are very sought after. But do consumers even know they're weeded from your
Probably
experience?
not. No,
That's what I mean.
it's not. They don't know the difference. If you told somebody that the Pappy Van Winkles and the Wellers are weeded, they would have really no idea. It's not.
But they're still a hit up at the distillery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, the weeded ones that we have, there's like we have a bunch of 10-year weeded that's fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you only have enough to sell the distillery.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, yeah. Maybe I've been trying to pester them to get a barrel for myself, and I think I'm pretty high up on the list of getting barrels. I mean, been there 11 years, but they're kind of tight with it right now.
There's a long lead time. You got to put it in the barrel and cool your jets for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Plus, if you were to go for the bar, all of a sudden they get emails from me like, "Wait, you have a whole extra barrel of this stuff, Sean?
yeah.
I can't even get a 6-pack."
No, it's fantastic, and I think we sell in Colorado. We have limited releases in Colorado, but some of that stuff we just keep in Colorado and not in our other 6 or 7 states that we're in. We've been on a 2-week tour talking about whiskey.
Oh, cool. I've always thought this. Are you able to buy the whiskeys at the airport? Any of the airports?
Yes, you can buy them.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah, you can buy them in the airport.
Okay, good. Because I've always wondered, I've always felt like that's such a missed opportunity for a lot of microbreweries and distillers, even winemakers that you can't buy. Like, even here at, the San Diego airport, you should be able to buy like a tall, large bottle of like Stone or something local.
They treat it just like they do duty free. You can buy. You can go to the duty free shops.
Good, that makes me happy.
And you can buy it internally. They just have to put it on the plane for you.
Yeah.
It takes an act of Congress though to get space in.
Yeah, it's
any
crazy,
airport.
right? Yeah.
I mean, and I just opened a bar in the Denver airport, so now I can.
Which, by the way, is excellent. We were in there for friends and family.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Cool? It's got 4 walls.
Yeah,
and I love that. I insisted on it in opening that bar. I wanted 4 walls.
It's a full blown speakeasy in the airport. It's insane because I was waiting in line and these 2 women were walking by like, "Hey, what the hell is this? Someone said there's a bar over here." And they're kind of like, I'm like, it's here.
Yeah.
She's like, well, it looks like a bookstore or something. And I was like, trust me, we're in line. Like, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's like an award-winning bar.
I was in there for 20 minutes. I had a drink. I walked down and went, where am I?
Yeah.
It was such a shock. You're back in the
You
airport.
really want that because, as I travel a ton and it's rare to be able to escape the hectic part of the airport. I mean, I can go to an airport lounge and get mediocre drinks, but now I can just go into my own bar, which is nice and get drinks. But our spirit selection is also excellent, like compared to any other bar you're going to see in an airport.
Yeah, because I remember we used to use the term airport bar as a joke, derogatory term for a place with a lame spirit selection.
Yeah, it's like an airport bar.
Yeah. We would say, oh, it looks like an airport bar.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like the big vodka next to the big tequila next to like whatever.
Yeah. And now, now luckily I get to drink at my own bar before I travel.
Amazing.
I mean, sometimes it's good. Sometimes I might have 1 too many before I get on a plane. If it's a long flight, it allows me to take a nap.
You could blame it on the altitude, but you live there, so
I can't really blame it on the altitude that much.
No. Okay, so anything else you want to talk about the bourbon before we move on to the rye? Because this is fantastic.
No, I mean, let's drink some rye.
Out of respect for you and the hard work and your 2 weeks on the road, boys.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric.
I normally don't drink this early, just to let you guys know.
I'm not going to comment on that. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
Right on.
Rye whiskey.
So 100% rye,
Mhm.
which, I think maybe there's one or two out there that are 100% rye. And you would expect a spice bomb out of it, being 100% rye whiskey, but it is, rye, the spice is there and it's prominent on the front end, but
cinnamon raisin toast.
Yeah, but there's so much more complexity to it, and even a little bit of sweetness and some tropical fruit notes to me like that I love in this whiskey. And it's a conundrum of a whiskey, like you would think it's a spice bomb, but then it turns into so many other things, and I love that.
And then how many years is this arrested?
5.
That's 5, yeah.
I put out I've done blind tastings with Sean and others, and I put out 3 iterations of a Macy Reserve, and it's all rye whiskey.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a growing experience to do a blind tasting with these guys.
Yeah, he was the first tasting panel that Bill did it with was H from H out of San Francisco, Larry Rice out of Louisville, and Jimmy Yeager.
Oh my God! Yeah, 3 guys that know about spirits.
Yeah, that kind of know a little bit about spirits.
They were taking notes for the first time since elementary school. I tried to crib off their notes. I didn't know what to write. They were writing all this stuff. I finally put down avocados and watermelon on the way home. Don't forget to call.
It looked like a list for grocery shopping.
Yeah. Is this a grocery list or is this a whiskey tasting list? Right.
Also, we did 8 barrels that first time. I think.
Yeah.
I forgot to swallow. I forgot to spit. I kept swallowing it, and by the 5th barrel, I had to invite myself outside for a talking to. But I narrowed it down to 3. And then I narrowed it down to 2, and I took my shot. And I was very relieved and proud to see that 3 or 4 of the other guys chose that whiskey too.
Yeah, I love when that happens. I love when it's like you have like 5 people, and when everybody's doing blind tasting, everyone picks their favorite. Sometimes it's like it'll be like 5, and everyone's almost in the same order.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like we all locked in. We all like
and we we in the years we've done it, we've narrowed it down, and we don't talk. You don't want groupthink like. Influence about what exactly, everybody's tasting in the glass. And then when you get there and everybody's like, okay, now list all your favorites, and it everybody's got it here and there. It's been great.
But I was the movie star, so we put my name on it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's good. The new one's great. It's got a sticker of a ukulele on it. It's in a beautiful box. Like it's really cool.
And is that a distillery exclusive?
No, we have it. It's out here in California and in the other states that we're in.
Great Father's Day gift.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah, of course.
Or you could get him socks.
Yeah, and then keep the bottle for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, buy yourself one. That's a fun process all the way around and put it into that. But
that panel you told me, those guys all have incredible palates.
Yeah.
But Larry Rice going to his house is always a special treat.
Yeah,
because he has just whiskey coming out of everywhere in his house.
Yeah, I don't think there's a shelf that doesn't have whiskey.
No, you're just at his house, and he'll just be like, "Hey, you want to taste some Old Overholt from 1906?"
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I want to tataste Old Overholt from 1906.
And then he goes into his garage, like next to the hammers.
Yeah,
and it's
I have some friends of mine who are like big video game journalists, and they happen to come with us there, and they're like, "Is this your fucking real his house? It's just he has rare whiskey just everywhere."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Yeah, this is him." Yeah,
I just went to a place in Nashville. It's like a whiskey society place in Nashville, and it's like in an old office building. They bought somebody's old office building, and every room is full of shelves of whiskey. It's one of the most insane places I've ever been.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like I have to reach out to Freddie Sarkis, who works with us in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
To find out where it is again, because it was like on the outskirts of Nashville. I pulled up the place. And I was like, I called him I was like, I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm like this 1950s looking office building. And he's like, no, you're in the right place. He came out and got me in one of the coolest collections of whiskey I've ever seen. And we sat with all their stakeholders and tasted them on our whiskeys. And they're not the types to blow smoke up your ass. They were like, they'd tell you if they didn't like it, and they were all over it. They loved it. And it was really cool to have that experience. Like I said, the tasting, the proof is in the tasting with all of this. We'll taste people all over the country. The vodka blows people away, right? They don't expect what they get out of the vodka, But then you get into the brown spirits and they get to the rye and they're like, the rye really stands out.
We've been on this tour, so we've gone into these places where they see people like us 4 times a day all week long. Yeah. So we got a lot of crossed arms, and I just loved watching their faces as we poured it out. The delight. It's the real deal. It's an honest, real deal company.
There's no, like I was saying earlier, there's no fiction we have to make up about it, and the fact that we don't source and we make everything, I can stand behind it 100% of the time.
Was that really tough not sourcing? Because that means you guys had to be around for a while before you were actually able to sell anything.
Right.
Yeah. Also, there's a risk where it's like, shoot, well, what if we mess something up along the line and then
right.
You're not really going to know for years.
In fact, one of the first thing they laid down after the vodka was a bourbon. And Pat Scanlon, one of our founders, tasted it at 2 years, maybe 3 years. And Lord, he thought, oh, we've made such a blunder. This is $1 million mistake. And 1 year later, it changed.
Yeah.
There's a minimum time this got to be in the rack house.
And it's, what we started with the vodka and the owners, they have means, like they're not scraping by. So, they're able to, and sometimes the vodka and the gin are just a way to make money until the whiskeys get there. Mm-hmm. But they actually put their heart and souls into the vodka and gin and made sure they're a great product. So while we're waiting, we had that beautiful potato vodka to sell.
I'm guessing it does pretty well in the state of Colorado.
Yeah, it does. And it does well in a lot of our markets. The vodka is still a leader of what we do, but the rye whiskey is right there next to it. And that's a beautiful thing, knowing that you have a bunch of barrels laid down, but you have a flagship product you can lean on.
I'm not sure. I know there are 2,000 out there in the rack house, and I think we're working on 3,000 pretty soon. Some of it's 10, 12 years old.
Yeah, which, like I said, we'll probably, hopefully vat some of it now, but we'll have some great reserve whiskeys.
Might be a nerdier question for everybody, but when you vat it, do you have to pay tax on it right away?
I don't know.
Because in the U.S., we have something really cool where, for distillers, you don't have to pay tax on the booze until you pull out of the barrel.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you vat it, if it's considered.
If that's considered still stored. I think it's anything before you bottle it.
Yeah.
That you don't have to pay the full tax.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because it's like,
so I think vatting,
then the IRS comes back, hey, where's our money?
Yeah, I don't want to say that out loud, get somebody in trouble. Yeah, but I think if you vat it, you're okay. Mm-hmm. Right? It's when you bottle it.
What you put in the glass and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, it's even we even have the bottles are all made custom for us. It's not.
They're nice bottles.
Yeah, beautiful bottles. And also, I like that the labels, the tops don't cut your fingers when you open them up.
Yeah.
Sean and I were talking about that.
Yeah. Spoken like a bartender.
Yeah, you're bartending. It's like a busy night. You're in a nightclub. I don't know. This is, I don't know what time in the middle of the night, and you go to open up a bottle of like whatever the fuck, and it cuts your damn finger. Like,
you got foil. This? Oh, yeah. I just worked a festival a month and a half ago, and I ended up with like 6 or 7 foil cuts on my hands just from working with a brand that had foils on it. Yeah, can't stand it. Don't need it. It's unnecessary. No. But also a neck you can work with in pouring, right? Not a tiny little neck. The bottle's all in the right place, but very well thought out.
And then, so what's for the future for the brand? You guys doing any other cooler finishes? Mizunar finish? Averania finishes seem to be like all the rage right now for whiskeys.
Yeah.
They're playing with some.
Put out a rum. Yeah. I don't know. American.
We toyed with rum because Pat and Mary bought a place in Hawaii, but I don't know. I don't think that's.
I don't think you have to if you don't want to, but
yeah. I think right now we're staying true to what we're doing. Right. There's some barrel finishes that would play around with just for distillery editions. Like I said, I had a Calvados barrel.
Also, damn, Colorado has one of the best beer scenes in the world.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what kind of access to like beer barrels you guys get there.
And they buy our barrels.
Yeah, they buy our barrels and do finishes. For their
See,
own.
bro, what I want to do is I want to have a pour of your bourbon alongside of a beer that was aged in one of your bourbon barrels.
Yeah. There's a few out there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing because it's like then you get this little you get the bourbon 2 ways almost.
You call that a shot and a shot 0.10.
Yeah.
It's I don't mind drinking that way at all. Mm-hmm. And there's such a great beer scene in Colorado and
incredible.
A lot of ways, and there's a lot of distillers too. So, distilling follows the beer. It's all a lot of the same base materials, and You know, I mean, I think it makes sense that we went from a really big beer scene into a pretty good distilling scene too. Because if you look at Colorado, you know, I mean, we're in Colorado. The Leopold brothers are in Colorado, you know, and
Good
Laws.
dudes.
Like
Good dudes.
there's some great whiskeys and brands out of Colorado, you know, and everybody loves each other. It's not, you know, there's not like competition. Everybody's hand in hand with each other, you know, and I think that's fantastic.
So, okay, so that means you guys are working on stuff you can't talk about.
No.
It's big enough that I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot this Macy Reserve. It's bottled. I think that's shipping.
Yeah, that's
So
close enough.
Yeah.
He mentioned the high rye. When I get back, I'm going to try to talk him into, well, just see where we are, if we could start shipping that.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be cool.
It's 70-30
Yeah. Or the weeded.
or the weeded. Yeah.
The weed, I think people would go nuts
Weeded
for.
is the weed.
The weed.
I'm, you know, like I said, I love our frontline whiskeys, but the weeded is something that I just go back to. You know, I mean, you know, what's the, you know, if you think about weeded whiskeys, you're thinking about the Wellers, you think about the Pappies, you think about Maker's Mark's probably the most ubiquitous weeded out there. You know,
Yeah.
I would stand our weeded whiskey next to all of those. You know?
It's Pat's favorite.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just, you know, I think it's so cool that I get to work with a brand that wants me to work with them. You know, that you know, we sought each other out. Like, you know, they threw the bottle on, but then I chased them down. And, you know, they don't care if I go work at a huge festival with somebody else or anything. They just, we have this thing, we have a great relationship going, and they know that I love the spirits and I can evangelize for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. And I'll stand behind every drop of spirit we have in a bottle.
Yeah, that makes sense, man, because you've been an evangelist for Colorado drinking for a long time. Yeah. You know, I feel like you've done a lot for the Denver scene in particular.
It's, you know, it's really cool because this year we had 3 bars, 3 bars in best new bar conversation, 1 bar in best cocktail bar conversation, right? And you know, the nominations for Tales Awards, like Denver gets recognized.
Yeah.
You know,
consistently, yeah.
and that's I will evangelize that all day long because we have an amazing little scene there. You know, and I mean, Yacht Club's done an amazing job with everything and got us out there. And their new place, Rougarou, just got some nominations as well. Lady Jane, who's right across the street from us, they're doing some amazing stuff. Yeah. You know, what do you call it? Semi Precious just moved in, just moved to town. You know, Mike Capaferri and his crew, and they just got nominated. As well. So, you know, you know, Death and Co. showed up in Denver. You know, and so people get it because it's still a drinking society. Like in Denver, people haven't slowed down. You know, I mean, everybody's talking about, you know, there's that people are drinking less. And
San Diego's kind of the same way. I'm like, what? Yeah. I don't think anyone's drinking less here.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes I feel like they're drinking more.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Bill says, you know, applaud them for drinking less and, you know, but drinking better is the way to go if you're going to drink less. My theory always is they may be drinking less now, but they'll drink more later. You know, I mean, they'll get to a point where they're like, yeah, I'm
everybody turns 40.
Yeah.
You look in the mirror, you look at the world, you go to a bar.
Yeah. And you know, look, bars are, you know, we're living right now where the Gen Alphas and the Gen Zs learned socialization online, right? And a lot of them don't know how to be like functional adults in public. Yeah. Right. And we're the training ground for that, right? Like bars are the training ground for that. They get out, they have to interact with people. They're forced to actually order from somebody, you know, like they're not ordering from a QR code. Like our bars and in our airport bar, I was very insistent in our contracting. We will never have QR codes, never have tablets, never have anything. You will always have somebody.
A human.
Yeah. My dad, lifelong bartender, goes to Newark Airport where it's hard to order.
I was just there like 4 days ago.
Everything is on a tablet.
To me.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything is on a tablet. My dad will sit at the bar and call a bartender over and said, "You're going to take my order." It's like, I'm not touching this. Like, I'll give you my card at the end, and they just turn the tablet around and they'll order for him because that's what he wants. But, you know, now the younger generation that's coming into our bars at 21 and 22, like they're learning how to be social now, like rather than in like high school and, you know, they're
poor kids. Some of them were like, didn't get to go to homecoming or prom or anything because of the pandemic.
They missed them both.
Yeah.
Your daughters missed them?
So, I mean, think about just how much socialization happens in those situations,
Right.
you know? So
And-
they
and-
missed out on it.
You know, for better or for worse, like alcohol is a social lubricant, right?
Mhm.
You know, like some people are afraid to approach somebody. A drink or two.
There's
might
a
give you
reason
little
why it's
bit-
called liquid courage.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Ability
saying
to-
it's the best way to do that, but
Yeah,
it's an effective way.
right.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, and we have plenty of options for people who don't drink,
Mhm.
right? You know, and that's the way we're inclusive about that. We want to make sure we want to be very intentional that, you know, everybody is welcome in our bar, whether you're drinking or not drinking, right? But this now, like, I love where we're at because I think that, again, we're like a training ground for people to be social, right?
Yeah.
And they can take that anywhere they want. But, you know, I mean, I love bars' roles now in socializing younger society.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. And I'll tell you what, it's like, just to build off of that. I remember Gilly's, one of my bars here in San Diego, we did an event in Denver about a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And we did a whole tour. We went all over, hit all the bars in town, all over Denver. And then we ended up at Occidental. We were there for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
There's the one
Sweet.
Yeah.
We were there the longest.
Yeah.
Because we were just there, and all of a sudden we met a whole bunch of strangers, and these girls all sat at our table. And there were like 6 of us doing shots together, having a good old time. And I remember you even came over, you're like, oh, how do you guys know all these people? We're like, I don't know, but we just met all them right like maybe 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, but there's something about just that socialization that happens. It just can feel more natural in the bar environment.
You know, I grew up watching my dad and my grandfather make community, form community in front of them
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And I think that's it. You know, as we progress into learning about cocktails and then,
Mhm.
you know, and then forgetting about the hospitality piece, you remember that
Mhm.
era that we had, right? And then
Right.
the boomerang back to hospitality, and now people learning how to create community within their own space is really important. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's galvanizing, and
Mhm.
you know, for our bar community in Denver, you know, there's a few industry hubs, you know, and I'm lucky that Occidental is one of them, but you know, we're a very close-knit community. So yeah, I mean, I'll evangelize the Denver community and evangelize what's happening in. I need some.
Also, just Colorado in general is a wicked cool state.
Mm-hmm.
It's purple, and they're fabulous people. They exercise a lot. They're straightforward. I find it a lovely state, and it's a beautiful state.
Right.
I mean, you guys probably have more distilleries and breweries per capita than just about anywhere in the U.S.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
I think California has a higher number, but I think per capita
Per capita, you guys might be higher than us.
Yeah, it's insane. But you know, I
Damn,
mean,
it's that elevation that gives you guys that edge.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Okay, guys, before I let you go, I want to ask you, I want to hear your favorite way to enjoy each of these 3.
Right on.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm not big on cocktails, mostly because of the sugar.
Yeah.
And, I want to keep my boyish figure.
Yeah.
So I drink everything on the rocks. And I like the big rocks sometimes, but I like multiple rocks.
I like the
I like it
dilution.
to melt.
The dilution's nice.
Right.
It's part
Yeah.
of it.
As Sean says, you get 3 drinks.
Yeah.
And I drink them all. The vodka and Mary's gin, which is the purple gin.
Mhm.
I drink pretty much all of them on the rocks, maybe with a splash sometimes, and maybe with a slice of lime or lemon.
I'm going to tell you, gin on the rocks is underrated.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gin on the
Yes.
rocks is great.
I mean, and our gins, you know, our
Mhm.
our regular gin and our Mary's select gin, you know, both are fantastic on the rocks, and you know, like a strong amount of juniper, but it's not heavily juniper forward.
Mhm.
You know, it's a backbone. There's
Mhm.
you know, it's like just a lemon twist, and you're perfect,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
For me, I love, and you know, I was talking about this morning, is I love a fucking dirty martini. I know, crazy, like
Okay, I might ask you, do you take yours with vodka or gin? For when they're dirty, I take them with vodka.
vodka,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
right? And there's like a slight brininess to our
Mhm.
vodka, like it marries into a proper dirty martini very well. So, you know, last night, you know, I did a guest bartending gig at the Gutter at the Lafayette Hotel,
Yeah.
and I was traveling, so Anthony Schmidt, the
Mhm.
beverage director, asked
Cheers.
if his bartenders could put together the cocktails. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll make their cocktails when I get there. And they put together a dirty martini without me asking them to do so. You know, that had a little bit of spice and a little bit of celery to it, and it was beautiful. It
Yeah.
was perfect, right? That, you know, with just my dirty martinis are usually 2 ounces 2 ounces of vodka, half an ounce of vermouth, and half an ounce of olive brine, right? Mm-hmm. And then theirs was two quarter, just a quarter of vermouth and 3/4, but they had a spice tincture and a saline tincture and celery. Yeah, it's all good, right?
Yeah.
You know,
You said half an ounce of olive brine?
What's that? Half an ounce of olive brine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
Yeah, it's dirty. Filthy, like Jersey filthy, right? And I'm from Jersey, so I can say that, right? So that's how I love to drink this vodka. Or, like I said, on the rocks with a twist is also fantastic. Bourbon marries itself with
everything.
Yeah, with everything, and it's so great in sours. And like, you know,
what's the ABV on it?
What's that? It's not. They're both 45%. Yeah. It is. I make it like a peach bourbon sour with an Angostura bitters. Like
what you're known for, bro.
So
that's your signature cocktail.
Yeah, I love that. I love that with this. It's married to it, right? And you know, I mean, apricot, peaches, like tree fruits and stuff like that. It's fantastic. You know, the rye whiskey. I think the rye whiskey is, you know, I do it in my smash, the blackberry sage smash that I've had at Williams and Graham for 15 years. You know, it's perfect in that, but man, it makes fantastic, like straight. It's a great backbone for a Vieux Carré. It's really good in a Vieux Carré. It's really fantastic in a straight up Manhattan. I do a Manhattan variant with Bonal, Gentiquina and PX Sherry, like Bonal. half, like two half with that. Yeah, me too, all day. Yeah. And I think that's also fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I'm with Bill too. Like I'll drink on the rocks, and I do drink with smaller rocks a lot. You know, I mean, I think I'll just take Hoshizaki ice or whatever ice you have, because, you know, strong up front, mellow in the middle, and whiskey flavored water at the end. I'm all about that. Yeah. Right? You know, like that is.
There's something to that. I'll do this thing. I would never do this for guests, but I do this at home. Yeah. I'll make like a Boulevardier on ice. Yeah. And not stir it at all. Yeah. And just let it go. But it's like I'll drink it for like the next hour because I'm, I don't know, doing stuff around the house or whatever, like cooking dinner or something. Yeah. And it's just, I like how it's super intense at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. And then by the end, it's like, it's almost swampy. But it's just like, you know, you get at all these different levels and different stages. It's,
if you've ever done like pastis service in France, like they give you half a glass of pastis, and then you fill the glass with water, right? And then you drink it down to half, and then you add another half glass of water, drink it down to half, another half. By the end, you're drinking pastis flavored water, and it's great, right? And that's what I think about when I'm drinking whiskey on the rocks, you know, for the most part. And you know, it makes the drink longer, and I don't need a cocktail. I want to keep its integrity all the way down, like that. So the Big Rock makes sense to me. With drinking whiskey on the rocks or whiskey like that, I want smaller rocks. It's just, you know, it's like anti-cocktail culture in that way, but I'm good with it.
Well, I feel like it's good if you're taking your time with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I was out and I'm having old fashioned, it's like very convivial, I might want the bigger rock. Yeah. But if I'm at home, like cooking dinner, chopping vegetables, it's like, it's nice to have that little.
I do love me an old fashioned. Yeah. But I make it the old fashioned way. I like to muddle the fruit. I think.
Go for it, man. Whatever makes you happy, you know.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I like it both ways. So yeah. You know, it's fantastic drinking with that, and especially with a rye.
Also a G&T. I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can drink a gin and tonic all day long.
Man, have you guys been to Gus's Sip and Dip in Chicago?
No, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
It's fantastic. So the thing is, the only reason I thought about it is because they make their old fashioned that way. They have an option on there. They do 30 cocktails, and they do only they only have one vodka, one gin, one bourbon in the whole house. Oh wow! Yeah. Well, they're doing $12 craft cocktails.
That's great.
Yeah, because they're buying everything. They're doing like pallet drops or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's look. We've jumped the shark a long time ago with the $20 cocktail. Yeah. And when I used to have business partners at Williams and Graham, I argued every price raise. Yeah. Like I'm like, we can figure it out. We can figure it out elsewhere. We can figure out our costs elsewhere without cheapening what we're doing. And by the way, that like right now, what people are doing with acid blends and starting to replace their real citrus with acid and stuff like that, I can go on an hour-long rant about that.
I might have to bring you back.
Yeah. Another time. But you know, like that's just, to me, it's just going back to the 80s. Yeah, we're going backwards. You know, we're doing powdered sour mixes now. But you know, I mean, it's now I lost my place because I got into the rant about.
No, you're talking about the Costco cocktails and how you justify it to your partner.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I argued it all the way up. You know, so we stopped at $16 after 15 years, right? And we've been there ever since. And people around us are at 17, 18, 19. we can figure the cost out to make it like I won't go higher than the $20 cocktail gets me a little bit like, you know, it makes my heart race a little bit. But I know that I also know the economics of our business, like minimum wages going up and you know, like taxes going up and all those things. I realize that people do have to charge it. I'll just figure it out some way, some other way.
Yeah, there's the thing. And also what I think what happens downstream is like a bar will come in and see, I don't know, a bar that's maybe makes okay drinks, kind of mid drinks. They'll go and see, oh, Sean's charging 16 now.
Yeah.
I could do 18.
Right.
And but then someone will go there and have an $18 cocktail. It's not very good.
Yeah.
And then so then when they come to your bar, they might not want to order it because like, oh, I had an $18 cocktail the other day.
Yeah, it's not very good. Yeah.
So they
one of the things that worries me a little bit about Woody Creek Spirits is they are in the middle. And that was one of the things they wanted to do from the very beginning, keep it affordable. But I, like pretty much everybody else, you see a $25 bottle of bourbon and a $55, you go, I think I'll get the better one.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
No. And we're priced in the middle. We're priced around the Buffalo Traces of the world, you know.
That's a damn good price.
Like above well at a call level, not at a premium. I mean, premium spirits at a call level price, right? And I think that's because we want it on people's shelves.
That's a T-shirt.
What's that? Yeah.
Premium spirits.
Yeah. So wait, actually, I forgot to even ask that. So what do these cost retail like in Colorado?
The vodka and the gin in the mid to high 20s. And
that's not bad at all.
And the whiskeys are low 30s. Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think on case deals and stuff, they can get the whiskeys below 30 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, up there with a lot of big dogs, you know, as far as like well known brands around. But you know, I mean, it's not. If you look at Colorado spirits in general and a lot of craft spirits, like those, they don't have the means to allow their prices to be lower than $40 or $50 a bottle, right? And that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, we do, and we're able to get them there because we want them on people's home bars. We want them on the back bar. We want them to see them on cocktail menus.
I'm glad you mentioned that about the different price points because I don't think the American consumer realizes how common it is for like a $30 whiskey to be in a $90 bottle.
Yeah.
Well, you have two bottles on the shelf. Yeah. Well, you know, different shelves that are the same whiskey inside, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I remember Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey spoke about that once. He was like, well, you know, we put a $30, he said, some people will put a $30 whiskey in a $90 bottle because they know that some consumers want to drink a $90 whiskey.
Born every minute. Well, drink less, but drink smarter.
Yeah.
Know what you're drinking.
That should be on the T-shirt.
Yeah. That's a good T-shirt.
I actually have that T-shirt.
Oh, cool. Is it under the jacket?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, shoot, I think that's about it, fellas. I know you guys, the two, you got a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
I want to say, if people want to learn more about Woody Creek, what's the best place for them to go?
You go right to the website, woodycreekdistillers.com. They can find it out. They see a lovely picture of me, a lovely picture of Bill,
amazing,
and maybe some whiskeys behind it.
Okay, cool. And then also, if somebody would happen to be in Denver, what bars do you recommend they should pop into?
I mean, besides my own Williams and Graham and Occidental, of course, I'm going to recommend that. And if you're traveling through Denver, the Williams and Graham.
Or even even a connection through Denver.
Yeah, connection through Denver.
Because it's a United hub.
A38.
Yeah.
Right next to A38. It looks like a bookstore, but I promise you there's a bar behind it.
And there's also food.
Also food. In Denver, Yacht Club, Rougarou, Semi-Precious, Peach Crease Club. There's so many, so many great bars. My Brother's Bar is a divey little bar that's been around forever. My Brother's Bar is a fantastic place. It's called My Brother's Bar.
My Brother's.
Yeah. And people think I have a brother that owns a bar when I tell them that all the time. But yeah, it's My Brother's Bar is another place. It's a great place to have a drink.
It's been there for years.
Yeah. Candlelight. There's a lot of great divey bars in Denver.
Mm-hmm. It's a great town, Denver.
Yeah. I think I passed due for a trip. I might try to come up for a Great American Beer Fest.
We'll be there.
October.
Come see us at the distillery.
I'd love to, yeah.
Come bring Gillies and set up at Occidental for
Done, brother, done. Yeah, I might even
Hey, Bill?
But we got to get the motorcycle with the sidecar out. I'll go in the sidecar this time.
You can be in the sidecar.
We can switch.
You can wear the goggles.
I want the World War II, like, Snoopy Red Baron goggles.
I've got 2 bikes.
That's cool. All right, with that said, William, Sean, thank you so much for making the time to hang out with us and share your story.
Thanks, bro.
This is really interesting, especially I feel like we're going through this renaissance for American distilling. And it's like, I feel like it's been promised for so long. And now we're finding this period where there's some really beautiful spirits coming out of a lot of distilleries in the U.S.
It's cool to be behind one that we really believe in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolute pleasure. Cheers. Thank you for coming on. And Yeah. All of you out there, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.